It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. And today, you get money for nothing. That's right, you get your podcasts for free. Because we're talking about Dire Straits. Hey-o! I feel like whenever Fredo's on, I have to make the pun as terrible as possible. I don't know why that is, but...
It comes with the territory with him.
That's right. Exactly. See, Bob knows. All right. So we're talking Dire Straits today. And we're going to go right to you, Fredo, because you put Dire Straits on the board. Talk to me about Dire Straits. Why did we have to talk about them today?
Well, first of all, it's no surprise that I put it on the board because every good band that you've done, I've put on the board. Every last one of them. So Dire Straits, Hall of Fame band. That's one of the most recognized and yet at the same time underappreciated bands. It's funny if you, I think it was with Clutch where we said where was it Clutch? Everybody knows them, but
it was
nobody
ZZ
will
Top.
say ZZ Top, where it's everybody knows them and yet nobody will say that that Dire Straits is their favorite band. However, nobody will say that they hate them. Like, oh, I fucking love that band.
You definitely said that about the Cars.
And
Yeah.
the Cars, they're they fall in that line too. And I remember, like, when we do most of these kind of things, you know, I'm a conscious sentient being as these songs are getting churned out. And I remember being 14, listening to Sultans of Swing for the first time and hearing that guitar, which was unlike anything else that was on the radio, in 78, 79. You got some punk, you got disco.
You say 14 or 40?
Shut up. No, it's 14, you fucking dickwads. And anyway, you hear that guitar for the first time. And again, this is, 78, 79, disco, early new wave, post-punk stuff is coming out. Arena rock is in full swing. Bands like Styx and Foreigner and Journey. And then here comes this band out of England with this guitar sound that's just fucking rocking. Back to that storytelling style of singing. It's not just, hey, I love you. I think your tits are great. No, they're spinning a yarn as you hear the song. So, to me, it was wonderful. So I said, yeah, let's do this.
And so when you put them up on the board, it basically came with the caveat of, hey, put my friend Cigar Bob on there. And
Yes.
I was like, all right. So what is it about Dire Straits? And by the way, we will not be calling you Bob 2 today, even though Fredo insisted we called you Bob 2.
He's very formal like that.
Yes, absolutely.
His father's just Roberto.
Exactly.
So Bob, tell me about Dire Straits. Why is this the entry point for Deprogram for you? What is it about Dire Straits that you love?
Well, a lot of things, really. I think the compositions are really creative and unique. And I think as we go through our list tonight, I think we're going to find that there is a lot of, musically, there's a ton of variety in what they put out. Mark Knopfler has a really, really interesting vocal styling too. And his guitar playing, of course, is the key to entry for everybody with that. If you're a music fan and Mark Knopfler is not in your top, 10 or so guitarists, I don't know what you're listening to. So I think there's a lot of reasons why. And I think, and I think we'll get into it later when we start going through the list, but when you get to a certain point in Dire Straits, it becomes something that everybody gets into at some point in some of their music, and some of it totally not, because stylistically there's so much variety there.
So as Fredo put that out, like, I swear this all came together really fast. Fredo puts it out, insists Bob comes on, and then so this was happening in like our Cars group, And immediately Randy goes, yeah, I'm in on Dire Straits. So Randy, Dire Straits, tell me about it.
Well, it's funny because actually I had no idea whether or not there was a panel put together for Dire Straits. I guess I happened to walk into it at the right time because I kind of got rekindled with Dire Straits because what I do for my son sometimes is, get bored in the morning, so put on some like 80s, 90s music videos, and the Walk of Life video came up with all the sports bloopers and stuff like that. I'm like, God damn. Why have I not done the full deep dive into Dire Straits? That's a real shame. So we kind of that day, like, all right, let's go through all their like hits and videos and stuff. I'm like, shit, this is a much better band than I ever gave them credit for. And then doing more of the research, both Fredo and Bob both said it. Like, it's just Mark Knopfler is a virtuoso guitar player and an extremely creative writer and a good storyteller. And yeah, I think for the 70s, in that little spot, right after kind of the Ramones and disco and all of that, it was tough to find that. And they kind of, it was hard for them to really fit in somewhere because the tide was turning, but it was turning to new wave. It was turning into kind of those stereotypical 80s bands that had like one or two hit songs that kind of came about at that time. So they weren't really following the new wave trend, but they weren't really following anything else that was going on at the time. The closest thing is like they were very close to Eric Clapton, and which is interesting because Eric Clapton happened to be a pretty big influence. And, Mark Knopfler, I think, helped him write some songs, helped him write a record, something like that. And then like the back half of the career, because they've gone through so many different styles. And I think, as Bob mentioned, that like you can go from very bluesy, which I think is their like, main style that they kind of stick to, the main genre. Then you can get some like jazz in there. There's some songs in here with like a little bit of a swing, no pun intended. And there are also, when you get to kind of the deep part of the catalog here, the second to last record is maybe their most popular record. And you have arena rock hits on that. And it feels like when that started to develop, maybe the most popular artist in the world at that time, one of them at least, was Bruce Springsteen. Mm-hmm. And I got that like very Bruce Springsteen vibe from him. Like you can easily see Springsteen write a song called Walk of Life. Like that is a very similar song that he would write. So I thought it was just a really interesting listen to get everything kind of mixed in together and then get to see kind of what I never really expected out of Dire Straits. So yeah, that's where I am with that.
It's interesting when you talk about that sound, late 70s, early 80s, where they don't fit in anywhere. And we see a lot of bands like that. The Knack were like that. The Cars were like that. Of course, Devo and B-52 were like that. But you had all of these kind of groups and they all get lumped into post-punk, they get lumped into new wave, but they're not. It's really, figure 77 till 82 was really interesting for a lot of bands coming out with it, where they couldn't have been lumped in anywhere. So they got lumped in catch-all stuff.
So Dire Straits for me. Oh, was somebody going to chime in there?
I was just going to say, Randy's point about Bruce Springsteen was a member of one of the E Street Band guys, keyboard player, Fredo, help me with the name. I think Roy Bittman. Does that sound familiar to you?
A little bit.
I think he played both bands. So I think stylistically, and Mark, I look at the other people he's played with even later on in his solo career, he's not genre specific. He just writes songs. So I think that kind of attitude or that kind of styling really makes him, almost, the anti-stylistic kind of thing that everybody likes some part of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much ground to cover tonally and sound wise here. And so my jump in point obviously is, Anybody my age would be Money for Nothing. And, you know, that video was massive. And, you know, like I just remember the first time I see it being like, holy, what is this? Whoa, that is. And I mean, of course, you look at it now and it's like, oh, well, you know.
Awful now.
Yeah. But
it's like, how is that considered like the extreme of technology?
Yeah, it was groundbreaking at the time. It was like, this hasn't been done. But, you know, that takes me directly to UHF. Which has the Beverly Hillbillies song. And, you know, my respect level, when I got older, I got the UHF DVD, and Al is on there talking about them doing Beverly Hillbillies. And it actually may have been the complete, like it might have been his collection of videos. Either way, he's talking about Beverly Hillbillies, and Mark Knopfler insisted, yes, you can do the song, but I'm going to come play the lick. And he came and played the guitar for Weird Al for Beverly Hillbillies. And I was like, that's fucking cool. I like that. Cause you know, there's some people like Coolio, God rest his soul, who said, no, fuck you, Weird Al, you can't do my song.
Right.
But I always thought that was cool. And you know, so there's that song, there's that story. And then there's like a handful of other songs that kind of like swam around in and out of my ear that I didn't quite realize was them, or knew was them, but didn't lump it together. So this was mostly a discovery. But there's not as much sounds as there's not a lot of music here, Fredo. You know, this isn't some like cumbersome discography to take on, but did you, as you know, as the panel comes together, did you already know your 20 songs, or was there a little bit of gamesmanship coming in?
I always know my, not my full 20, but I always know 12, 13 other songs right off the bat without even having to check the list. Bob got to see me do my list as I'm going. You know, throughout this process, I'm going to Bob as I go to the cigar shop. Hey, Bob, you got your list? You working on your list? Oh, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And, you know, he say, how about you? No, I haven't done it yet. He's like, what the fuck? So last night, I'm over there and like, hey, you know, what's, you working on your list? I said, I haven't done it yet. He's like, it's tomorrow. And I said, all right, here you go, stand by. And I
nothing new if you've listened to a Fredo episode before.
And I go, okay, hold on. And I go to Spotify to make sure I get the right album versions. And I'm writing it there, eating his chips and salsa. Because it was in front of me, and and 20 minutes I got my list.
So not difficult.
I know it annoyed him.
Not difficult at all. Well, I mean, to that point, I mean, Bob, it's your first time here. I mean, and this is a band that you know well. So it annoyed you to see Fredo do that. Is that because you had a tough time, or what was your process like for your 20?
So I wouldn't say I really had a tough time. I took it pretty seriously because, again, it's my first time. You don't want to get blasted on a podcast your first time on. So I really wanted to make sure that I covered sonically what I think they represent. In other words, if, you know, you've got to put some of their more country or more jazzy sounding songs on there, not just, you know, everything's not Sultans of Swing. Everything is not, you know, one of those other songs that clearly I think are going to get 4 votes tonight. You know, so I tried to be a little bit careful about how I chose them based on the soundtrack. And I'm a Mark Knopfler fan anyway, so my head kind of is clouded by his solo stuff that came later that's obviously not included in a list like this because we're just doing Dire Straits. So when you whittle it down, because it's all him, so his solo stuff certainly doesn't sound like Dire Straits, but it's still him. So there's some of that in there, and you can't you kind of whittle it down to what we're working on tonight, and you could do another podcast just like this of his solo stuff. So that kind of clouded my list making too. Is, man, I wish that was on there because that would be but it's not in the selections because it's his solo stuff. So that gave me a little bit of trouble, but it was okay. I mean, I had the first, as Fredo said, I had the first probably 15 or so before I ever put pen to paper. Mm. So that's when it became a challenge.
So, Randy, you usually have some sort of gameplay here. I think maybe last time you kind of didn't because time didn't allow it, but Yeah, the waitresses. I think you didn't allow it.
You
How
know?
did it go this time? You had a little bit more time.
It was very similar to how I did the Cars and how I've done most bands where I haven't intook their full catalog. I just went through the whole thing once. I just listened. I didn't make any notes. I just listened, and I wanted to get that like muscle memory for the songs to see on second listen what would come back and what I would remember. And the stuff that did obviously were the first to rise to the top. And it you know, I think there was a lot of stuff that were immediate absolute home runs, but then there were a lot of things where I know I put them on my list, in my non-codable list, and when I listen to the song back, I'm like, why did I put this on? Because I'd listen to the start of it, and then towards the end, I'd be like, oh, okay, I really like that towards the end, but to get there, I was a little like it kind of threw me off. Like that wasn't what the song was, but that's who they are. They're very much slow burn kind of band. Their average song total runtime is probably 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's just how even the hits are all like 5-6 minutes long. You know, the Sultans of Swing is what, like 6, and probably, you know, a radio edit for it that everybody knows is like 3.5 or 4. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was one thing that I was very, very impressed by in this. I'm not going to give it away now, but one overall subject I was over the moon by, and let's just say it took up a lot of a portion of what my list is. So I think I did okay getting a little bit of everything in, but you know, we'll see. I think this is a very agreeable band, but we'll see.
No, I agree. I think they're a very agreeable band. But you know, once we get into the next level, we'll really delve into that. But I think I accidentally did it the same way you did. The first time I kind of, you know, there was 4 or 5 that I was like immediately on my first pass. I was like, yeah, those are in. And then the next pass, you know, I went with that muscle memory. Oh yeah, I remember this one from the first go around, and then that put them on the short list. I think only 28 made it through. I was very selective because I didn't want some difficult process to get down to the 20. So like, I don't know if it was just not having, you know, the tie to the band already, but I found my cuts pretty easily. Now that brings us to, because there are 4 people here. One of us is new to the game. Fredo, how many do you, based on everything that has been said so far, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously for the final say?
This is going to be interesting. It really is, because I think there's going to be 5 that are, 4 that are automatic. And then there's going to be a group of about 7 or 8 that could go either way. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to have, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be about 17 songs, I think, that are going to be in the discussion. Mm. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with 6.
6. Ooh, all right. Mm-hmm. Nice little swing here. Bob, what are you thinking for the final say?
I think that I think we're gonna have more. I think we're gonna have 7 or 8 songs. I'm gonna say 8 songs are gonna be. I love it. Gonna be agreeable. Yep.
I love it.
Wow.
Confidence.
Yeah, I love the confidence. Randy.
So I was at Fredo 6. I'm gonna split the difference between the two of you and say 7.
All right. I'll take the.
Sorry, I didn't say 9. It's not the Cars.
No. You know the deal. 8 or 10. You don't go 9.
You can't go 10 because if you win it, you don't win anything.
No. You don't go 9. Come on. Just like in spades, you don't fucking go. You know, you don't go 9. You go 8 or you go 10.
I'll tell you guys this. It'll definitely be better than the worst episode ever. We got a 0. So that
was a 0.
Wasp got a 0.
Oh, no
What?
way.
What?
Wow.
Are you telling me that Blind in Texas didn't get it all the way through, or Animal Funk Like a Beast?
Nope. They got in. They just didn't get in unanimously. So
Who was on that panel?
it's me, Corey, and V.
I can't fucking believe that.
So
honestly.
I'm gonna go. You guys leave me like hardly any choices here. So
What do you mean hardly any choices? There's still 7 numbers.
yes, I know
Absolutely,
that.
bro.
Any
I
good?
know you got plenty of choices.
Any good ones? Because 9 is too many for sure.
You don't go 9, you go 8 or you go 10.
Right, and I'm not doing 9 or 10. So I'm gonna go 4 because it feels like there's 4 homers, and anything past that I think is like Fredo, you were pointing out, like somebody's gonna put one out that they don't think is unanimous, and we'll be like, oh yeah, whoa, awesome. I think there's like at least 1 or 2 of those, but
Sure. Because you know there's gonna be, because I'm playing the game. So there's some that I left off. Just to be, a douche.
yeah. But I'm gonna go with 4, even though it feels low. I love the confidence, man. Like, this is a 4-person panel. You never know, and 1 person is playing for the first time, so you never know. But we're gonna take a quick pause, and we will be right back to play some Deprogrammed. Stay tuned. Kickstart your road to fitness with the Hard Work Works fitness app for all ability levels. Full gym, no problem. What's included? Over 200 workout plans available for every situation, from a full gym to no equipment at all. Nutrition guide to help you stay on track, and all of this is only $10 a month. There's a special offer for Deprogram listeners. Use promo code STUPID and get your first month free. The Hard Work Works fitness app. Decide, commit, succeed, and join the hustle today. With that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 4 of us have combed through the Dire Straits discography and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never pushed play on Dire Straits. And this song has come up a lot already tonight, and I'm going with it as my number 1. It feels like it should be unanimous, but I can also understand if it's not. I forgot how much I loved this song, and I love when this happens on the show, where you hear a song and like you knew it was the band, but you didn't know it was the band. And so you hear the song and you're like, oh yeah, this is them. And then you're listening to it, and like, I got lost in this song, even though it's kind of poppy, as the only word I could describe for it. Randy astutely said it had a he didn't say this song. Yeah, he did. Bruce Springsteen, but I'm going Walk of Life.
Of course.
Yep.
Got it.
Hey, there we go.
There it is.
There we go.
How can you hate a song that has sports bloopers under?
I forgot how much I loved the song, though, is the thing. And every time I hear it, it just makes me happy. And
Woohoo!
yeah, and I mentioned I could understand.
That's so Bruce Springsteen.
I could understand if we didn't have it, but I wanted to come out with this first because it's like there's other songs that I knew for a fact, but just hearing it, and even hearing it right now, I'm getting giddy.
Smiley.
Like it's fun.
You're getting smiley.
I'm getting very
It's a
smiley.
really happy song.
It is very happy, and it does have that feeling. Now that I'm listening to it, it does have that feeling that you're going for this. So like, yeah, man, had to go here.
Alrighty.
All right, we got one.
Yep.
Fredo?
I'm gonna go with probably my favorite Dire Straits song. I just love this song so much. I love everything about it. I love the way it sounds. I love the feeling that it brings up with me. And I love the video. And it's off the Making Movies album. It's Romeo and Juliet.
I have it.
Got it.
I do not.
Of course you don't, because you're a prick, and it was going to bother you to fucking put that song on. So right off the bat, you're an asshole.
For the record,
Oh, it was number 21.
no, this was somebody's answer on Instagram. They said this one was a must have. So
Exactly. And you decided it was a must-have. Let me put fucking Dean Koontz on.
Yes. How did you know?
Dick.
All right. Jeez. So hostile. All right, Bob.
So I'm gonna go with one that's a little off the radar, maybe. Just because I think it's a great song. I think it represents them well. I'm gonna say Six Blade Knife.
No.
Yep.
I got it.
You put Six Blade Knife on, and you didn't put fucking Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. I did. And for the record, also, somebody on Facebook answered that this was an essential song. So, haha. And Bob
Is this a
thought
2
it
or a
was
3?
It's a 3.
yeah. Is it 3?
Yeah, because I didn't. No, it was a 2. It was a 2.
I was going to say,
okay.
yeah. I don't think Randy had it, and I don't think Fredo had it. So
The question was Fredo, I think.
yeah. So, all right, Randy.
I have a little story with this one. A couple years ago, somehow I stumbled across this project that somebody had done, and what it was a recreation of Fantasia with rock and roll music. It was actually really, really good. Like, they were all like Disney shorts, and there was music from Zeppelin. There was "Given to Fly" from Pearl Jam. There was Tom Petty song "Room at the Top," that all like put to this imagery that was just really, really well done. And one of the clips was this song, and I don't know what this Disney short is. It was like a Wild Wild West kind of thing. And I just vividly, like, I went back to this song first, and I'm just like, I just want to make sure that pops into my mind, that was the right song, and it was Once Upon a Time in the West.
Got it.
Nope.
Oh, look who the holdout is again.
All right. 1 and 2 and 3. Very agreeable band, though. That's 2 3s. All right.
Yeah, my bracket's completely blown at this point.
Yep. You're witnessing four-person panels on your first one. Look, this one's really, I'm getting it out of the way. I have to. I don't care about Dire Straits without this song. And, it probably doesn't get up the ladder faster without this song. And the fact, Weird Al did a version of it, and the fact that Mark Knopfler insisted on being on it. I know I already mentioned that. Money for Nothing.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay, so was that a no from you, Randy?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Same kind of thing that we've talked about before.
Yep.
So I couldn't do it.
See, I'll say this. I thought about the idea of, everybody knows that, but I don't know that everybody knows that. Like, everybody of a certain age, yes. But people that listen to podcasts, especially mine, tend to skew a little younger and probably don't know Dire Straits and probably don't know that song.
I would disagree with you, and I'll tell you why.
I've seen the numbers.
What? Well, they might not know that it's that song, but if you play the video, they know the song because it's an iconic video.
I think you guys are misinterpreting why I didn't take the song. It's because they use a homophobic slur in it. I couldn't take it.
Oh.
Like multiple
Christ,
times.
Are you? Oh, yeah. But you know what?
I'm not going to give that to somebody. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to give that to somebody and say, here, listen to my band. I'm just not going to do it.
You know what? This is a time thing. And I'll tell you, because I actually read on that. And if you listen to the context that they're using it,
they're using another word.
Not at the time.
Of course they could.
Again, this is using 2023 mindset going back to 1985 and saying they should have. Well, and then the N-word never should have came up. If you look at the time and you look at the context they're using it, it's not. It's a homophobic slur in a way of showing somebody that your prejudice is stupid, because they're sitting there and making fun of someone who's homosexual, but then they turn around and say that homosexual has his own jet airplane. He's a millionaire. So where's the slander? The slander's in the jealousy and the ignorance of you saying, okay, this guy is X, Y, or Z. Because you know what? That guy who's X, Y, or Z is everything that you want.
I'll also say, like, somehow that escaped me. That I don't know if maybe I just wasn't paying hard enough attention to the lyrics. Normally that probably would throw me off, but
it's not in the radio edit.
It's not in every cut of the track.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. I mean, it's got 3. That'll be conversation for later. So
one point quickly on that one before we move on is that was he was paraphrasing someone else.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah,
That still
because
doesn't
that's
make
right.
it okay, but
you're right.
Because that song actually was written as he was sitting in a furniture store, I believe, and that's an actual conversation that he overheard.
He was making fun of them for having that viewpoint in that lyric.
Again, I agree with Randy's point of it doesn't make it okay, but that does help.
As do I.
That context does help, I think.
you're not going to have the context by just listening to the song,
Yeah.
Correct.
Also,
I wanted to make sure that Randy was aware of that.
No, thank you for bringing it up. No, it's good to know that.
I also can't deny that fucking guitar riff. Like, the goddamn, it's...
I love the song. Don't get me wrong. The song is amazing.
Yeah, so... All right, Fredo.
Let's get what I think would be the other obvious one, that song from 1978 that just hooked me the minute I heard it. Sultans of Swing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it considered one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. It's undeniable.
What's funny, so I put it through because I liked it, and on my first pass, and then we were listening to just the playlist, like as we were coming into the room today, and this song came on, and like I don't know what it was about the atmosphere, like the chat we were having, but like it just fit perfectly, and I grew to love the song even more in that moment. This is just it's a great groove.
It's I don't know what it was about 78 and 79, but songs like that, I said the same thing. I believe it was with the Knack, My Sharona. I remember distinctly where I was when I heard it the first time.
Oh, you said that about Just What I Needed too.
And the Cars, Just What I Needed. Again, something about that era, that time, these songs that are now considered iconic, that the minute I heard them just dug themselves into my brain.
All right, Bob?
So I'm going to go with using carefully. I'm going to go with Lady Writer.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Oh, a couple of these threes I'm left over on.
I find it curious that when I'm the odd man out on the 3, Fredo crucifies me.
Mm-hmm. I crucify Randy too. Bob is only.
I mean, that whole spiel was probably crucifying me enough.
Yeah, well, but no, I crucify him all the time.
Yeah,
Bob is new.
Yeah.
Bob is new, and so it's like Justin. You come into my house the first time, you're a guest. After that, fuck you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. The first episode we did together was The Clash. The first thing you said to me was, at some point, I'm going to call you an idiot. the first song gets picked. I don't have it. You said, well, there you go. You're an idiot. And now you're like, you're treating it as a guest.
Look, here it is. You know what? This is a different time. I've matured. I've changed. This is years later. I mean, are you gonna hold me to the way I was before? I've grown and I've matured.
You're a change man. Yeah,
that's the fucking problem with you, man. You want to sit there and judge me for what I did years ago. And you know what? I'm sorry that you can't accept the new me.
Fredo?
Yes?
You're a child.
It hurts me that you think that way. But, that's fine.
Randy, you're up.
I fucking love the bit, guys. So my wife asked me what songs I was putting in on my list because she had, her dad was really into them and she grew up listening to them a little bit. And she asked if I had the song. And I was like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I have it? And she's like, good. We're going to sit down and watch a really important episode of The West Wing tomorrow. Like, okay. And it's apparently one of television's like highest regarded shows. And I get into what the episode and stuff is all about, but you don't really need to know it. If you know The West Wing and you know what it's about, like this was a pretty epic moment in the show. Bartlett announces that he has MS, and then everybody's kind of in anticipation. Is he still going to be running for president on a second term? And when he's going to walk to that press conference, this song comes in, and boy, does this just, it fucks you up. I think it's their best song, Brothers in Arms.
Nope.
Got it.
I got it.
Nope, I don't.
Why, Fredo?
Why?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I just, I like it, but to me, it's not an essential song that somebody needs to hear. That I would play to hook somebody into Dire Straits.
Interesting.
Yeah, on the other side of the spectrum on that.
This. So we've got 2 through unanimously, right? And we've got 6 into the combo if we include the 2, which at this point looks like the 2 might get in. Interesting. We are in interesting
round 2.
Yeah, it's still super early, so.
This is really shaping up to not be what we thought.
Yeah.
Well,
your 4 or 5, whatever it was, might be looking good at this point.
Well, 5 was my initial thought. I went with 4 because everybody went 6, 7, 8. So, I'm going to go to the 5th song on my list, Telegraph Road.
Of course, absolutely.
Got it.
Yes, Telegraph Road. Yep, I got it.
There we go.
Hey, I'm glad this one went through.
I gotta be honest. That is one of the ones I would have thought would have been like our 5th or something. One that would have shocked me to hear unanimous, but we got it. That gets us to 3.
To me, Telegraph Road's a good example of what I thought when it comes to this thing. Songs like Money for Nothing and Romeo and Juliet were going to be those ones where someone's going to not play it to get some of this other stuff, which is I think we're going to start to see popping now in there because of really how iconic the whole discography is, actually, if you listen to it. My turn, right?
Yes.
Let's go with let's go with a song that to me has elements of Pink Floyd in it. It's Where Do You Think You're Going?
Oh, the Pink Floyd comparison of that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I took it.
I don't have it.
I don't either.
Who doesn't have it?
Both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
neither one of us. It's a 2.
Yeah, to me, if it was funny because as I was going back to listen to it, and I'm on I've become a huge Pink Floyd fan over the last 10 years, the elements of Floyd, just especially during that 70s time, it just so obvious to me that there's definitely some David Gilmour influence in Mark Knopfler.
All right. So that was Fredo. It is your turn, Bob.
I'm gonna go. I hate to put this song out there now, but I'm gonna go with "So Far Away."
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that's sorry, 8s, 6s, and 7s.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Justin for you.
I must have missed something because I've already got. Yeah, this got put in the wrong place. I'm missing a song that should have 3, but it was listed under "So Far Away" for some reason. Is there another S song that we did maybe that I...
Six Blade Knife was 2.
6 point
Sultan's a Swing, obviously, 4.
4, yeah. We'll just... whatever it was, it had me on it, so I'll have to do that as we get to the end. I'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Randy?
So I kind of got this vibe from this song, and especially really recent, obviously a couple days ago when we're recording this, David Crosby passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to this song, and usually I didn't get the sense that Dire Straits had a lot of like harmonies and like background melodies and stuff like that. It's just not something they did. But in this song, it felt like they brought that together, and it had a very warm feeling to it. And I really liked it. It really reminded me of CSNY. Water of Love.
What's that title again?
Water
of Love?
That must have been one of my last cuts because I don't have it.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is that a no from Bob?
Yep.
I don't have it either. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep.
There's the first.
Yep.
We've
there's
cut
the first toss away.
Yeah, but we also have covered a lot of ground before getting there in 4 rounds. So like, I mean, just because we're not getting the unanimouses, it feels like we're not playing well, but we are doing really fucking well, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta figure out which
Still
one.
a lot of songs out there that can get all 4.
I think we'll have like 1 or 2 more surprises.
That's the one it was. It was Brothers in Arms, and Fredo was the one that was out on that. There it is. How did it get up to So Far Away? I don't know, but we'll... Back to me. Do I have anything that feels right? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go here towards the top of my list. Setting Me Up.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh. He's all by himself.
No, Randy said he had it, didn't he?
No, I didn't.
No.
Oh.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
I apologize.
Slander.
It is, and that's why I apologize. Okay, so the two of you have really started a downward spiral here,
Yeah,
which I plan to fucking slam the brakes on it. And I'm gonna slam it with this song, "Skate Away."
Yes.
Nope.
Couldn't do it. I got another one. There was between 2 songs for me on that, and I went with the other one.
Wow. So it's only got 2?
Yep.
It's only got 2.
But
Holy shit.
just saying, 4-person panel. This is what you expect from it. And we, for the record, we have a discussion already. So we've got 3 through unanimously. We've got 9 in the combo. Those 2s are looking pretty iffy. So we'll see when we come back around. All right, Bob.
Okay, so since we did Skate Away, I'm going to do the song that I put in place of it because I just think it's got to be on this list. And I'm going to say Calling Elvis.
I got it.
That was like 21 for me. Shit.
I got it. So it's 3.
I only left it off because I just don't like Elvis as a whole.
Wow.
It's a thing with me.
Wow.
This is the thing with me. But it was okay song.
I'm with
Well,
you. I'm with you around that, Randy.
But you know, it's funny that you said you don't like Elvis, and you don't like him so much that you won't include a song.
Well, okay. It's not as much as Elvis, it's Elvis culture. I had a friend in college whose father was an Elvis impersonator in like Atlantic City or Vegas or something like that. And he came to pick him up at school wearing the stud jacket and had the hair and the sunglasses. I'm just like, I'm embarrassed for you. I'm sorry.
I'm going to high school. I'm going to pick up my son.
So, yeah.
I could understand that. Lisa Marie Presley died this past week.
Yep.
Oh my God! Too many people were talking about her.
And I saw her, in concert. I had worked a show when she had played at a place called the Norva, and I remember, and I instantly felt so bad for her, because there was a guy there dressed as Elvis, and it wasn't cool 50s looking Elvis. It was 70s bloated Vegas Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, and I couldn't get it out of my head, that this poor girl, wherever she goes, she's got to see that.
Yep. All right,
let's take a break.
Oh, you got to pee?
It's that time. It's and Bob will tell you when I'm at the shop, I get up and piss about 6 times.
And I'm not saying, I mean, Fredo already said he went pee, so it's not like, it's just going to be a weird jump cut. So as we jump back in, I think it was supposed to be my turn.
No, I'm up.
You're up?
Bob did Calling Elvis, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Randy, because I was trying to
steal
wait.
my turn.
I was trying to wait for Randy to go and then to go to the bathroom.
But you were
Finish
too busy talking about Elvis to let Randy make his turn.
Yeah.
All right, Randy?
Man, I feel pretty bad. Like 3 of these 3s I've been the one left out on. And, I don't know what left in this list I can get to be 4, but I want to use this one because I think it has a really good chance. And also, I absolutely love this album. If anything, for the fact that it was like one whole soundtrack more than it was the songs. It felt like there was a story going throughout all of these songs. And, there might be a spoiler alert. I might have a lot from this record. But let's go with Private Investigations.
Yep.
I do not.
Oh, I'm out. I'm out on that one.
Me too.
Wow.
Ew.
It lands at 2, clinging to life, but barely.
Has it got 2 or 3?
2.
Ew.
For the record, that is also one that came up on the Facebook thread. So, all right. Let me see. How about Follow Me Home?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
Holy shit.
another miss. Another miss.
What the fuck is happening? I can't. Okay, it's my turn, right?
Yeah, hold on. Just trying to get this.
I think this is an interesting kind of crossroads that we're at right now, because I think this shows the diversity in the tone of this band.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
It in the moment it sucks because you want to hit the home runs, you want to get the unanimouses, you want to get those 3s, but it to your point, Bob, like this shows exactly how much. Here, what is it, like 80 songs? Not even 52, 51 songs, and we're able to find these different corners in a 4-person panel. So, all right, Fredo.
I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to say this just shows that you guys are stupid.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Bob.
Did we I'm gonna say this song. I think it was lost in my list, so I don't know if this was said. Water of Love.
Yeah, that was said.
It was said, dude. I said it.
Okay, because it was stuck in my list. What does that do for us overall?
It gets it out of the pile.
Yeah, it takes it
It's a
from a
2.
1 to a 2.
Oh, okay. So there you go. You're welcome.
Do you want to actually play one that hasn't been
Glad
played?
somebody liked it.
Yeah. Of course, I'm going to do that. Don't be ridiculous. I'm going to do a song, and it was remade. By Mary Chapin Carpenter, I believe, is the one who remade it. And it's off their On Every Street album. It's called The Bug.
I have that.
No, I don't have it.
All right, so it's a 2. Fredo and Randy.
Try another song, get the same response.
Yeah. It's because these guys are dumb. It's you and I, Randy.
Welcome, Bob. Welcome to the show.
I'm not going to take that bait because I know in 2 minutes you're going to call me dumb again. So.
Oh, of course. But for right now, we're on the same page.
Don't let him reel you in.
Well, now.
Yeah, don't.
Just keep you away later.
All right, Bob, it's your turn.
All right, so this is an interesting track, and I think I went with it because it's almost like if a song or if a blues band tried to do a country song, and it shows kind of Mark's progression, I think, in his writing style, his playing style, his musical preferences. And I'm going to say Wild West End.
Yes.
No.
Which one?
Wild West End.
No.
All right.
Really? 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I can't imagine how that's a 2, but
I mean, considering some of the, yeah, I'm hands up in the air. I have no idea if we'll even get another one for Justin here.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know what's out there that could get.
Oh, there's still. I still got at least 3 more that 4 that I think could make it all the way through.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Got 7 left on my list, so hopefully it's there.
All right, Randy.
What do I have to go with the one that I think is gonna be the best chance. I guess it's Tunnel of Love.
Yep.
got it.
Me too.
There it is.
Finally.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Song. That's one of the ones that I thought would be a 4.
Yeah, well, you were right.
Yeah.
It sets the tone for kind of the
wrong.
What happened?
Bob was kind of, I think his audio crapped out a bit. I was gonna say Tunnel of Love, the three-headed monster, Tunnel of Love, Romeo and Juliet, and Skateaway all feel like it's part of some trilogy or something.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact,
They all feel connected.
I'm trying to remember if that side one of that album.
It would have to be if it's track 1. Right?
The
First
3 that were already mentioned. Tunnel of Love,
that's what you
Romeo
mean.
and Juliet,
Okay. Yeah.
and
I got
Skate
you.
Away, which are part of that side 1 of making movies, has to be probably one of the best sides of an album.
That's Tunnel of Love is the first track. Yep.
All right. Back around to me. All right. All right. I keep skipping past this one, and I get a feeling that there's probably a reason for that. Espresso Love.
Got it.
No.
Nope.
Okay. It's got a 2. That's a
Some of
rare.
these 2s aren't dead.
It's a rare Justin and Fredo 2. All right.
I know, right?
Fredo.
See, now I'm dumb, right?
No, I didn't say you're dumb. That was one of the ones that I put on that I was kind of hoping, would end up in the discussion, and obviously it's not. I don't think. So give me a second here while I gotta check something out. It's this next song which I'm planning on saying. Might be part of that perfect side. Oh no, Espresso Love was part of that perfect side.
Ah, there we go.
Of yeah, and that's actually the one that I was going to use. All right, so let's go with fuck me. Let's go with Portobello Bella.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Holy shit!
Finds the trash can.
No mushrooms.
Yep. Finds the trash can.
And it gets the line through it.
All right, Bob. We're running long. I'm trying to stay ahead of it.
Oh, I'm gonna throw into the.
Uh-oh.
What do you got, Bob?
Communique.
Song communique?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it.
Nope.
Me neither. Oh, there it is.
Oof.
Bob, you're first.
Yep.
Denied.
Wow.
Did not.
How's it feel now?
Yeah.
That you felt total rejection and failure.
Keep in mind that I already know you personally, Fredo. I feel that way a lot.
I feel like today is just a roast of Fredo.
I know, right?
It is, yeah. Oh, today, all of a sudden.
It's a roast of everybody, really. All right.
Yeah, well,
Randy?
that's how it goes. I have like 6 or 7 left. I'm going to keep going with Love Over Gold, that record. I'm going to say Love Over Gold.
Nope.
Nope.
Love over gold. I've got it.
Hey.
Okay, 2. It's not going anywhere, but
It's a great tune.
It is.
I've got 3 songs left.
Oh, look at you.
Well, okay.
So
Well, hopefully we hit on all 3.
yeah, maybe we'll do one more round, and then Fredo's only got 3 left, so maybe we just dump out on this round because we're not exactly hot here, gents. So
No.
all right, so I'll start at the top of my list. I didn't lead with this because I don't feel this way about this band. I thought it's a great introduction. It was a good to great enough song to make my list, but it wasn't the lead off. But Down to the Waterline.
Yes.
Yes. Bob?
I'm out on that.
All right. It's got 3
Hey, you know
down.
what? A 3 on the dump out's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Southbound Again.
No.
Say again?
Got it.
Bob's got it.
Got that
Which
one, too.
one?
Southbound Again?
Yeah, Southbound Again.
No.
Okay, so it's a 2. All right, next, Single-Handed Sailor.
Yes.
I almost took that.
Nope.
All right, so it's got 2.
Another 2.
Me and Fredo. Another rare me and Fredo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
We have one more shot for a unanimous here.
Solid Rock.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right, next record. Solid Rock 1. All right, Industrial Disease.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
Come on, Bob.
Was that again?
I got it.
Oh,
Yeah, all right. It's not the walk-off that we've had in the past, but hey,
yeah.
we got something.
That ain't bad.
And nobody is going to have the final say.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Yes, there will be blood.
All right, I got 3 more to put out there to see if I can find any y'alls. It never rains.
Yes.
Oh,
Nope.
I'm out.
I know you are, but the other
I'm
guys
just
aren't.
letting you know. There was that pause.
It never rains is me and Randy. All right, and then One World.
No.
All right. All by myself. All right, and then last but not least, Heavy Fuel.
Got it.
Yep. And I'm out. 3.
Ah. right. So
done for me.
All right.
It's
And
just Bob
yep.
now.
Well, so just for fun then, Bob, because there's nobody left for you to match, you want to dump out whatever you got left?
I've got Angel of Mercy. That one, the orchestration solo in that is exemplary. I think that's a really good track.
All right.
So
That's
is that a one?
Yeah, everybody's
It's all
out.
one at this point.
Yep. This is just for fun to get them out there.
Yep. Okay, and I have On Every Street.
That was kind of a late cut. That was one of the ones I was saying before that had a really, really good finish, but the start lost me on like second or third listen.
How would you know it? How would you know it has a good finish if you got lost at the start?
Because when it got to that point, a lot of when I'm listening is when I'm doing dishes. So I'm focusing and yeah, I'm listening to the song, but then that part that kind of revs up at the end, I noticed that. I'm like, oh, that's why I took this song. That's the reason. But I know that everything you built to that. So that's why.
All right. So is that everything, Bob?
Yep, that's all I have.
All right. So what did that bring us up to? 5? Yep, 5. Should have stuck with my 5. Sultans of Swing, Tunnel of Love, Telegraph Road, Industrial Disease, Walk of Life are in. And what do we got here? 21 that we got to trim down. I think these twos I think it's safe to say these twos are out.
Yeah. I'm not going to even look at them. Just throw them out.
Because really.
Yeah. Sorry, Wild West End should be in. Fuck.
Well, you know what? Yeah, Skateaway should be in.
I agree with that one too.
Espresso Love
Private
should
Investigations has a good.
Yeah, where do you think you're going should be in. You know? But they're not. I can't believe it. I seriously can't believe some of the songs that are not even in the discussion.
It was bound to happen one of these days. Mm-hmm. All right, so that means, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that we need to trim down to 5. All right, so the ones with 3s: Down to the Waterline, Once Upon a Time in the West, Lady Writer, Romeo and Juliet, So Far Away, Money for Nothing, Brothers in Arms, Calling Elvis, and Heavy Fuel.
Let's real quick, right off the bat, let's start the discussion with the one song that I personally think it needs to be there. And if you want to put the single edit, then do it. Money for Nothing. I mean, that's a signature song. That's their biggest hit. It won 2 or 3 Grammys. It's the reason that Brother in Arms is their biggest selling album. Yeah, I get the homophobic slur, but again, this is a song back from '85, man, and I'm just kind of tired of people judging things from the past on today's standards.
I also would say that if we got 8, like 7 or 8 through unanimously, I feel like that makes a case.
This would have been an easy dump.
Yeah, I think we could have dumped it.
Stole from you.
I think the fact that there's only 5, I think it keeps it very much alive. It's hard. It is really hard, and this isn't to say the reason is invalid that you didn't have it, Randy, because I think it's a perfectly valid reason. But I also think it is so hard to ignore that fucking riff. I'm hearing the riff in my head now, and you know it sucks to have that sully it. And if you're really, really, really putting your foot down after hearing what we've said, understandable, but it has to very much be in this conversation at this point.
Okay, I don't disagree. I don't think that I explained how much I actually really love the song. And I know it came off as like, nope, can't do it. Sorry, move on. But like, this is very similar to Justin. I saw this video and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I probably saw this video for the first time in like 1994, 1995 or something.
That makes sense to me now. if you look at talking about the video back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Because it feels like it's bright colors. It's like, you even know in 1994, it's like, okay, it's a little dated, but it's still cool because they don't use that kind of animation style anymore. Like they weren't really using a whole lot of computer graphics just yet. So whenever you did get to see it, it was cool. And yeah, every time I had an opportunity to listen to it on this list, I did because that hook is so infatuating. Like it's an incredible song. It had and I I don't think that if I didn't have a full 20 and I struggled, I would put it on the list. But if we can seriously find a radio edit for Spotify, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure if you look at the greatest hits, which it's definitely going to be on. The live, I know one of the live versions, he changes the song, the word from the F word to he uses the word Queenie.
Oh, look, there's a single edit right here.
Still kind of, but okay.
If I'm not mistaken, the greatest hits album of theirs that I have, which one it is right now, but the greatest hits out there, it's cut. Think that.
All right, so throw it on from the greatest hits.
There's
We have an agreement.
there's plenty of them.
That gets in there.
All right, so let's put that through as number 6. All right, now let's put some heat on Bob because he's the new guy. Is there one of these threes that you're looking at, and you can take this either way. Like it depend, you put the appropriate amount of heat on you. If there's one that you feel like could go, or you can take the easy route and go one that you feel like should have been in from jump.
Yeah, there's definitely two different directions to go, though. I think that the list has to include So Far Away. That's a 3. Was one of my submissions. I think that is one of their songs that was a hit, and I think it's got to be there.
Look,
No disagreements from me.
Yeah, I was the odd man out there. Let's grab that one. All right. And that takes us to 7. Same thing.
Which one was that?
That was So Far Away. So Money for Nothing and So Far Away takes us up to 7.
We got 3 more left here.
Yep.
All right, guys, I don't care what you do with the last song, but I really want these 2 in. Brothers in Arms has to go in. No doubt about it, has to go in. And I would love to get Once Upon a Time in the West in.
All right, so let's tackle Brothers in Arms first. Fredo was out on that.
Say again. I was the one that was out on that.
Yeah, on Brothers in Arms.
Here's what and Bob. Remember I told you that we play the game. Here's me playing the game. I'll give you brothers. I'll give you Brothers in Arms if I get Romeo and Juliet. Because Romeo and Juliet will be the one that's my hill to die on.
Okay. Well, see, now I'm playing kind of, I know you played Money for Nothing there too. So I'm kind of playing tit for tat here. I would love to get Once Upon a Time in the West as well. Against Calling Elvis, Lady Rider, Down to the Waterline, Heavy Fuel, I think it has the best shot.
I'm fine. I kind of like the Calling Elvis, especially because we got nothing from that late in the catalog.
I think we have anything off of Communique though.
Yeah, I think we do.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Holy shit, we don't.
Nope. So if representation matters, do you take something from Communique or do you take something from On Every Street? Do we cut something that's already in?
Bob, what do you think? Let's put the pressure on the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think if we're doing this as we say we're doing it, then it shouldn't matter what albums they come from in the selection. I don't think that the album matters. If one didn't make it, one didn't make it.
Oh, there we go.
I'm in the camp of Romeo and Juliet. and both being in there.
All right, so let's go ahead and solidify Romeo and Juliet, Brothers in Arms. That's 8 and 9. So now we're talking 10. So 10.
The only thing back to the album thing that I'll say about On Every Street is that it was not critically received very well at all, and it kind of led to the downfall of the band. I know maybe it doesn't matter in the end, because I did look at some set lists that they were doing on their final tour, which is unfortunately a huge bust. Like, they didn't make a whole lot of money on it. They didn't get the crowd reaction that they should have gotten. But, you know, I it's all dependent on songs. I think that Once Upon a Time in the West just has that, like, that like classical Western guitar note that comes in to begin that song that gets you ready for something. That, like, that's a showdown, that's a shootout that's coming. That is really hard to replicate in song. Like, they do a really good job of building a story, building a really good visual within a song. I see more of that visual aspect, and it's an important aspect in my eyes in Once Upon a Time in the West than Calling Elvis.
I'll also say this: On Every Street, easily my least favorite of their records.
Same.
Going through it, the two that are remaining are the two that I had from that record, and they both got 3s. So, you know, take that, you know, however. But I think there is something to what Randy's saying. Like, some of these don't have that visual aspect, or at least in the same way, where, you know, Money for Nothing has a visual aspect, but it's the video that they did that it makes me think of. Walk of Life just kind of makes me happy. Like, it doesn't really set a scene for me the way. And again, I didn't have Once Upon a Time in the West, but I guess, do either of you, Fredo or Bob, have a song you would put up against Once Upon a Time in the West, or are me and Randy kind of bloviating here?
What are the 3 again?
All right, so the ones that are still alive: Down to the Waterline, Once Upon a Time in the West, Lady Writer, Calling Elvis, Heavy Fuel.
Go ahead, Bob.
I like Calling Elvis a lot. But Once Upon a Time in the West, I think I voted for that song. So those are both 3s. Calling Elvis is one that I submitted. That clearly, to me, is one that needs to make the final.
Bob,
I would stand on Calling Elvis over Once Upon a Time in the West.
Ooh.
Oh,
why?
Boy, do we got a fight here.
Okay.
Why?
Not lyrically, because I think that it's a valid point. I'm not an Elvis fan either. I know that breaks your heart, Fredo. But that song, sonically and feel-wise, I think it's got to be there because it showcases their musicality.
Interesting. All right, so weigh in, Fredo. Do you have a different song, or do you want to weigh in on one of these two?
I'll tell you one of the reasons that I'm stuck is that if you look at the history of Dire Straits, people love to say that the band's Mark Knopfler, and in a lot of ways they're right. You know, that's the first name that everybody thinks. That's, matter of fact, that's probably the only name that people think of, and that's because throughout the history of the band, there's only 2 people who were steady in that band.
Right, his brother
and that's
quit.
Mark Knopfler and John Ilsley. They're the only 2 who were in the band the whole time. Everybody else, including his brother, came and went. So when you take that,
Brother David was out relatively early.
right?
Yeah, I think it was after making movies.
Right. So when you're saying that last album, On Every Street, was like the least Dire Straits, to me that just goes to show how important the rest of the band was, and it wasn't just Mark Knopfler, who kind of help set the table for the band. And if the band evolves, as we talk about bands evolving their sound, the longer they stay together, then the band didn't really evolve so much as Mark Knopfler started his solo career, or cemented his solo career. I can't remember if he put out a solo album before that, because the band took a break in '88, came back in '90, and from '90 to '95 before they broke up permanently.
They had a break from what was it, 85 to 89, I think.
No, 88 to 90.
It was 88 to 90?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was you know what? It was in between Love Over Gold and Brothers in Arms that there was a 6-year delay, which I'm going to guess Knopfler probably wrote solo stuff in that time.
Yeah. I don't know if he released a solo album. But the point being, that if we're going to say this is how Dire Straits evolved in a band that has a finite catalog, then we should include something from that last album, which to me would be Calling Elvis. If we're not going to say that this band evolved, then we can dump that one out of the conversation. So I'm going to leave that to you guys. Do you consider that the first solo or part of Mark Knopfler's solo life, or do we call that part of Dire Straits, knowing that only him and John and John Ilsley were the only two members throughout the entire lifespan of Dire Straits?
I mean, it's impossible to say that was solo, because obviously it's not, but I get what you're saying, where, the full band counts as the full band, and yeah, they didn't all make it the full way through. I think ultimately On Every Street the album as a whole just felt a little empty to me. It felt like, yeah, musically I feel like they did reach their peak evolution with Brothers in Arms.
You did or did not?
Did. Like that right there, that album is where, okay, from the album before that to that album, that's where the change happened. There was some change within, but here's the thing, in my eyes at least, when you evolve between those two records, I don't think it evolved in a good way, because it led to the spiraling effect that broke up the band, and they've never had even a reunion together. So I would be more apt to say put something in from early, which is the heart of the band, and yeah, that yes comes from some bias because I really want this song in, but I think that is another thing that should be considered.
You're the one who had a hard time separating Knopfler's solo stuff from Dire Straits and believing that it should be part of this whole exercise. What do you think about that album in particular, On Every Street, and how it compares to Dire? Is it that logical bridge from Dire Straits to Knopfler solo?
A little bit, because Calling Elvis really sounds like a Knopfler solo song.
Ooh.
Really does to me. That's one of the reasons that I like it so much for inclusion in a list like this, because it is a taste of something else. You know what I mean? It's a taste of something more than just Dire Straits. And I agree, Brothers in Arms is the album that kind of was their pinnacle. If you look at the list we have, I think we have 3 songs off of that one album.
Yep, 4.
In a 6-album set.
Yep, 4.
So that's pretty telling. Almost half the list so far is from that one album.
Yeah.
So based on that, I would say, well, I'm sorry, Justin, what do you think?
So honestly, I don't have a dog in this fight other than what I've already said. Basically, On Every Street didn't do it for me. Whereas I was completely engaged all the way up until On Every Street. I liked On Every Street. I don't mean this to sound like I'm dumping all over it. I'm not. But there was, Randy used the word empty. Like, I think that's empty, not necessarily hollow, but in that realm of it didn't do what the rest of the discography did for me. So, and I guess the question really, I mean, because I know we talked about album representation doesn't matter, but like, if we do this list with nothing off of Communique, is that harsher than doing this list without something off of On Every Street?
Me, probably.
I might have to agree with you there.
Communique is basically right in the heart of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bob, what do you think? Bob, did we lose you? There you go.
No, I think
So, no, I'm here. on its surface, I would be fine with skipping Communique.
Mm.
You would?
To get the track off of, to get that one track for the reasons that I said before about the difference between that and just every other Dire Straits track.
Here's another question. This is a Dire Straits deprogrammed. Do we care about Mark Knopfler's solo career? Like, we got what Mark Knopfler is known for, what his big, if you want to say his best work of art is. We have it right here. Like, I don't, and I'm sure, this comes from, somebody that hasn't listened to his solo stuff. I'm sure that he's a fantastic songwriter, lyricist, all the above. So I'm sure he has music that happened after Dire Straits that's fantastic. But this is really his pinnacle anyway, is the first 5 records.
Bob?
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I mean, popularity-wise, yes. Although, you hear him tell it, he's doing better now because he never wanted to be a rock. And that's what kind of he was becoming up until that last album.
Mm.
So I guess I can't argue your point on that. I think you're right on that. My only caveat is that one song.
So let me pivot this. Does this change it? Because it sounds like he has a pretty decent single discography or solo discography. If there was to be a Mark Knopfler episode of Deprogram, does that change your answer?
No, not really, because I think that one track has that much value.
Oh.
Because of forget about the lyrics, forget about the Elvis reference, forget about all that. My point with that song is only sonically.
Well, let's talk about it. I think that we started with that point and then kind of got lost along the way and got more into the technicalities of all of it. But, I feel like the songs are completely different in construction and assemblement, but, I do want to give this list, and I think about this with every list, to somebody that the songs are going to just hit them right in the face right away. And either you're going to know them and you're going to like them, or you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, okay, that's recognizable. I always want to give them something recognizable. And I feel like Calling Elvis starts off kind of like it gets its groove a little bit and kind of feels it in the choruses and stuff like that, and then kind of moves, but it takes a little while to get there. This is one of Justin, this is like your big thing. Get me to it. Yeah. Just get me to it right away. And Once Upon a Time in the West does that.
Here's where I'm going to play devil's advocate. And then after that, Justin, I think you should play it. When you say we got to give them something they know, we've given them something they know.
Oh, no.
If you just look at the top 9, and we've already put more than half of this list is stuff that they'll get. So,
but I'm not even saying it's stuff that they don't know, that they know, or I'm just saying stuff that you're gonna. And when I say recognizable, like they're gonna want to play it again. They're gonna be like, okay, I can remember that. Okay, and that's what happened to me with that song. Like that's essentially the same thing. I heard it for the first time on this Disney thing, and it took me a long time to hear it again. But once I got to hear it, it brought me back to watching this this project, and I had like a vivid memory of it.
So Justin, how about you play it?
I am.
And
It's been playing this whole time.
I've been hearing 2 passionate arguments. Let me see if I can play Peacemaker here. Are we willing to take away or switch out one of those songs for something that's already on here?
Yeah, is there something that got through?
I won't budge on Brothers in Arms. And I don't think, Fredo, it sounded like you were going to budge on Romeo and Juliet.
No,
Bob, I don't think it sounded like you were going to budge on So Far Away. And it feels like nobody wants to budge on Money for Nothing either.
I'm with you on that. I wouldn't give up any of those for this song.
Okay, so we're looking at Walk of Life, Sultan of Swing.
No, they're automatic. We can't replace them.
Okay, Telegraph Road.
That's another one. We can't replace the unanimous ones.
Yeah. Okay. So then, in that case,
we have to make a decision.
Yeah. That's on you guys, because I think Justin and I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
But then it's a tie. Like right?
I have no. I've heard 2 really, really solid arguments for these songs. So, Justin, I think this is a good time to invoke the Fredo rule.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
There you go. Then you guys got to hash it out. I made my case to try to make you both happy, and Mr. Dean Koontz over there doesn't want to budge, even with something that is already established, and that is the Fredo rule.
I guess the question is, are we seriously at an impasse, or is one of you willing to budge?
Oh,
no, I don't think I am. I'm sorry. And I'm not doing it to be a pain in the ass or anything like that.
Oh, and the problem is, you make a very valid point musically with the opening of the song. You're 100% right. Calling Elvis does not cue in the beginning. It absolutely does not. Gotta wait for it. And if we're gonna call that a caveat, then that's the answer.
Right.
Because calling Elvis doesn't start out like that. You're 100% correct on that.
This is also a point in time where I would like to remind folks that a great thing for you to do is to collect all the songs that have been mentioned today and give them all a listen.
For sure. Absolutely.
So, go ahead, Fredo.
Yeah. So if we're gonna say, the song doesn't grab you at the beginning, we could really say the same of quite a few of these songs.
Well, that's the argument was just with these 2. We already put in the other songs.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, what I'm saying is...
Yeah, Fredo, why you got to bring up old shit?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. Because that's what I do. And I want to... I'm just trying to look for something that might make me sway.
Somehow we're at an hour and a half, and 30 minutes has been song number 10.
Well,
look, if the argument was between Bob and I, and you said that you and Justin were going to sit out. So, Bob, I think it was a very, very good debate, and I Calling Elvis is a good song that I think I said it was 21 on my list. So, you're not wrong for bringing it up and wanting it in.
No, and I to your point about the song starting out better, it's 100% right on that. My caveat, and I guess to Justin's point, if there was going to be a Mark Knopfler solo session for his later work, then I could see leaving calling Elvis out because of that reference that I made to it. So I can see it either way on that.
So then it's on you, Bob.
I think he just
Yeah, I think he's
said so.
Did he?
yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
giving his consent to Once Upon a Time
Okay.
in the West.
Exactly. I don't know if you were you paying attention for that?
No.
That's
no,
what
I
it
wasn't.
sounded like to
Another-
me.
But you were
potty break or-
talking.
Paying attention's also not paying attention is also part of the bit.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So we got there. Sultans of Swing, Tunnel of Love, Telegraph. Yes, Telegraph Road. Didn't see that coming. Industrial Disease, Walk of Life, Money for Nothing, So Far Away, Romeo and Juliet, Brothers in Arms, Once Upon a Time in the West rounds out our 10. Now, Fredo, of those 10, which one's the one?
Romeo and Juliet. That's what you're gonna get from me. Sorry.
All right. Bob?
We might be in for another fight.
The one, I think the song that made them was Sultans of Swing, and I think the guitar solo, the lyrics, the story, that song is the one. And I think there's other, good conversations about other songs, but that is the Dire Straits song.
What are you thinking, Randy?
My first instinct after, just going into this, I really fell in love with Brothers in Arms. I would love to give that song to anybody, but it doesn't feel like it has a chance in this group. My number 2 was easily Sultans of Swing, so I'm gonna go on into that boat.
I also think it's Sultans of Swing. Walk of Life would be, my oh my God, I fucking forgot I loved this song, and oh man, it makes me so happy. But when I mentioned this when it came up, when Sultans of Swing, when it was playing and I was listening to it, I loved it even more that time I listened to it. So I feel like as a reminder, some people, again, this may be one of those situations where they've heard the song, didn't know the band. We could be informing, we could be answering a trivia question for them. So I'm on board with Sultans of Swing.
That was my number 2, so obviously knowing my number 1 isn't getting through, I'm good with that.
All right. So let's do that. Let's get us some Sultans of Swing in here. And I will find it eventually. There it is. Come on, baby. There it is. Let's let it get a moment in the sun here. We need some sunshine.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime,
Yeah, it is.
sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything.
I love how it sounds like everything but nothing else at the same time. It sounds like everything else but also sounds like nothing else.
You go look at the Billboard Top 100 for 78 and 79 because it made both lists for the year. And tell me if you see anything else like it.
It's so
Even close to like it.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like it has this feeling like I can go. It kind of sounds like this. It kind of sounds like this, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's bizarre. I love it.
One quick thing I want to add in about Knopfler. He's a magician with his solo work, but that shouldn't really. And what I mean is soloing on a guitar, not his solo albums. But he shouldn't be known for that. He should be known for his progressions and what he's been able to do, kind of blues wise and stuff. But when he does solo, it sets him apart from everybody. You got to think, like, you know, when you think of solos, you think Eddie Van Halen, you think Slash, you think Jimi Hendrix and those guys, but he figured out a different way to do it that has like a heart and soul to it. So I give him a lot of credit for that. That's a really important aspect about his songwriting.
So there it is.
Have you watched him play? His approach to the guitar is completely different from anybody else's. Physically, the way he plays the guitar, he plays it like a banjo with no pick.
All
I
right.
did notice that. Yeah.
All right, so I think there's more on that for after the fact, which if you'd like to hear, patreon.com/ohhijustin, $1 a month gets you in the door, and you can hear after the fact. You get deprogrammed before the rest of the world, and as a matter of fact, that will probably start looking like at least a week early instead of a couple days early here in the next couple weeks. So fingers crossed for your boy. Also, it gets you access to certain channels in the Discord, which is cool, where, you know, we do stuff. The Discord, you can come count, man. Counting is fun. We do that. It's fun. Get in there, count. Never the same person twice. And I think we're up to like almost 400. So just saying, count. Come count with us. You can go to legionofstupid.com. If you click up on the top, there's a link to join Discord if that's what you want to do by not pledging to Patreon. Understandable. You can also go to podcasts, click on Deprogrammed, and you will see all the episodes. You can listen to the episodes there, or if you want to listen to just Randy episodes, you want to listen to just Fredo episodes, you want to listen to just Bob episodes, you want to listen to just Justin episodes, that's all of them. I will do that joke every time. Also, if you wanted to come play, man, like, you just scroll down a little bit more, there's a sign-up sheet. You know, if I don't know, if you wanted to do that Mark Knopfler solo episode with Bob, that's where you go. You put your name in there, sign there, and you can...
Holy shit! I'm sorry. I'm just realizing I left the song off.
What?
Yeah, I forgot to say it.
Wow.
Because the man's too strong off of the Brothers in Arms.
Okay, well, there you
But
go.
it obviously went nowhere.
Yeah, it goes nowhere, but okay.
You know what? This whole list is invalid.
Oh boy. Okay. So, I mean, look, you see the fun that we had. I mean, it got heated, but it, you know, not in an angry way. You know, we discussed it out, like adults. How about that? You can check that out on all podcast platforms, all that stuff. You know, I'm rambling, so that's the best time for me to go. Dire Straits. Learn them, love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.